Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. I hope that everyone is doing fantastic. What a beautiful day it is to be alive. I just want to welcome you all to 8 Days to Unstuck, okay, where we're talking about getting unstuck and getting done with all the wonderful projects and things that God has given us to fulfill in the earth. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed or get stuck in areas and we don't really even know why we're stuck. And so these 8 days, we're talking about 8 different matters that most people and organizations struggle with in getting unstuck. And so, I pray that you are being blessed by this series. We started June 23rd and we will go all the way until the end of the month, June 30th. So, with this also, I just want to make sure that you're not hoarding all this great information, okay? Make sure that you are sharing this information with people who need it, okay? Like, share, tag, comment, and react. Let me know if when I say something you like it. Or even if you don't, I want to know that too. So engage me, okay? And it just makes things even more fun on my end. So let's do a quick recap. So day one, we talked about purpose, okay? Um, and so it's so important that we identify our purpose, the purpose of our organization, the purpose of our family, the purpose of that thing, the function of a thing, right? All of that matters. And we do that by asking ourselves 6 different questions and writing 2 statements. I'm not going to go through all of that. The information is available on my social media. And then there's a decision tree where the main question here is, does this project align with my purpose? That's key. Okay. We don't have time to be wasting time. So we need to make sure that everything we do, every decision that we make, everything we put our time, resource, efforts into, okay, that it is in alignment with our purpose. And then day two, we talked about smarty goals. That's right, not just smart goals, but smarty goals, where we talk about them being specific, measurable, achievable, or attainable, relevant, time bound, and it must be what? Yours. You must have embraced it. It can't be a goal that someone else has for you. Oh gosh, don't we get caught up in that a lot? No more. We're not doing that anymore. It is going to be our goal, or at least we need to take the time to embrace the organizational goal, to embrace the family goal, to embrace the relationship goal, whatever that is, okay, and make it yours. Because only then are you going to put in all the necessary time and effort that it's going to take to build what you're doing. Okay, so go to my social media for these resources as well. And then there's also the golden circle to help you. Just to remind you of the importance of SMARTY goals regarding clarity and accountability and helping you to identify your problems. And then day three, we talked about the budget, okay? The importance of a budget and that there's the standard budget, the 50-20-30 or the 50-30-20, right? But then I introduced to you the giver's budget. That's right. Because when you have a heart for people, to love people and to give, there is a principle there that you will always have enough. I'm telling you, try it. I live by it and it has never let me down. And so, again, the giver's budgeting rules where you do 50, 20, 20, 10. Okay. And then also talking about how to put together a project budget as well as budgeting your time. Yes, we have to budget our time as well. Okay, and so then today is day 4. We're halfway there, y'all. So thank you for being with me. let's get into the matter of resources. Okay, resources. Yes, we all need them. We all need resources, right? So let's start with some Bible here, and it says in 2 Corinthians 9:8, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, not just some things, sometimes, but in all things, all times, having all that you need, you'll abound in every good work. Now, it doesn't promise everything that we want, but definitely everything that we need. Okay, so listen. If God is giving you a vision for something, that's not a want, that's a need. Because that's in alignment with your purpose. And I want to be clear with that. Okay, that's not superlative, that's not extra, that's not, a cool thing if it happens. That's something that you must do. So God is going to make sure that you have everything you need, whether, like I said, it's for you personally, whether it's for your family, that organization, no matter how big or how small, okay, your church, whoever, whatever. I'm telling you, if you put it in the hands of God, He's going to make sure you have what you need in alignment with His purpose that He's given you. Philippians 4:6 says, do not be anxious. Don't worry about anything. It says, do not worry about anything. It didn't say you can worry about some things. It didn't say you could worry about all things. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, everything, you mean including projects? You mean things that we feel stuck in? Yep, those too. By prayer and petition. Okay, by being in communication with God, because communication is important in any relationship. And even these matters, we're going to talk about communication tomorrow on day 5. So, okay, by prayer and petition, right? Asking, loving for what you want with thanksgiving, with the heart of gratitude. Amen. Because there's always a reason to be thankful. It says, present your requests to God. Yes. And He is willing to fulfill them. So, any of those things that that kind of maybe be in the wants area, God is saying, come to me, present them to me anyway. Right? And let's see about that thing. Let's talk about that thing and how that aligns with the purpose that I have for you. And so I'm telling you, anything that you need, don't worry. The resources will be there. What resources? Human, capital, and natural. Right? Those are the 3 main types of resources, okay? And you think you know what they are, but let me tell you today, you're gonna have a new idea about what these resources are, okay? And it could be the reason why you're stuck. Maybe it wasn't purpose. Maybe it wasn't, you know, budgeting and, oh gosh, I just forgot, forgot the other one. What was it? Let's see. Purpose, smarty goals. Of course, of course, of course. Maybe it wasn't purpose. Maybe it wasn't smarty goals. Maybe it wasn't budget, right? Maybe it's here. Maybe your resources are lacking, which is another one of the main reasons why even organizational projects fail is because of lack of procurement of resources or lack of resources to do that. Okay. Um, so human, capital, and natural. Okay, let's talk more about these things. So when we're talking about human resources, I'm sure you probably had it right away. You're thinking about people, and that's true. But we need to be thinking about people and the many different roles that they play that can help you with your project. Not just your employees, if you're an entrepreneur or a CEO, president, or something in a company, right? But experts as well, or a resource. Okay, experts on this topic, that topic, experts on how to do this or do that. Volunteers. What? You mean that volunteers could be a resource? Absolutely. Hello, churches, right? community organizations, absolutely. Volunteers are a great resource for you. And the idea of even a volunteer, someone putting their heart into it, their commitment into it, with no cost associated. Come on, all right? That's a blessing. Don't don't look overlook don't overlook your volunteers, okay? Influencers, right? Oh gosh, influencers popping up everywhere, okay? Don't overlook the importance of influencers, not just on social media. No, 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 no. But people who have influence in your organization who may not even have a title, right? People who have influence in your community, in the government, in your church, in your home, in your family, right? Those people are resources and they serve a purpose. Okay. Mentors. Don't don't forget your mentors, that they can be a resource. You know, you can spend so much time researching and looking into something and taking a course in something. But if you go to your mentor, they could tell you the answer you need in like 5 minutes. Sometimes, not all the time, right? But my point is that you've got someone who's been there, done that in what you're doing or trying to do, and they have so much great knowledge to share with you or can point you into the right direction. And even if they can't tell you what to do, maybe they can tell you what not to do. And that's equally as important. Okay, students. Oh my goodness. Yes, students. Do not forget students as a great resource for wanting to get some things done, right? To have some energy with something. It just you just don't know the great resource that is available with students. And then let me jump to educators, okay, which is a little bit across from that, but teachers and their students. What? You mean a classroom? Yes, a classroom is a resource. Teachers, students working together, that is a resource that can help you with the project. Educators, you know, educators always looking for reasons to get involved in something, to share their expertise in something. And they're not as costly as necessarily an expert, right? But they can still help you and advise you on some things. They might even be a great connection to getting the word out about something with your project, you know, reaching out to the schools. Don't forget educators and students, okay? So shout out to all my fellow educators out there. Um, you are a valuable resource, okay? And I really hope people reach out to you. And also by working with students and also even recent graduates or other people who are looking to get additional training, you can create internships. Don't forget the valuable resource of interns, okay? Um, who could be have a free internship or pay them, you know, not as much as again an employee or expert, but still getting having other people to help you get things done, to be more hands on your project. So these people, these human resources are key to helping you get unstuck. Okay. So that's human resources. Our next one is capital resources. Now look at this. Now I bet probably 95% of you, when I first said capital, only thought about money, right? Or when I say resources, you're thinking, yes, money, right? Um, and yes, that is typically what is on our mind now. But you know what? We're so far beyond that. I really would like to believe that as a society, we're beyond just money. Now, don't get me wrong, it is important and it is a valuable resource. I don't think it's our most valuable. I think time is because it's the only resource we can spend, right? And not earn. Right? So time is the oh gosh, I should have included time. Hmm. I should have included time. I will give you tips on time at the end of this. Okay. um, because that is really, really important. But the way we handle time, I'll talk about it now. The way we handle time, let me go back to human resources for a minute, is by being the mentor. It's by creating the internships. It's by empowering people. It's by training people. And you know why that is a way that you um, handle or kind of make more time for yourself? Is because now people can do it. More people can do what you can do without you having to do it. It's true. And so the fewer things that you have to put your attention to, you're already you haven't what I say, you haven't made time in a way. I guess we say, "Oh, I'll make time." Yeah, do you really make time though? No. Right? You budget time, you don't really make it. But it just frees you up to, be available to things that only you can do. And so, again, mentorship, training, educating, empowering, delegating, those are the ways that you would use the resource of time. Okay. Um, and then here we are with capital resources. Okay. So, financial, we know that, right? You need to create your project budget. You need to make sure that you have the right amount of funds to do that, right? But there's also cultural capital. Yes, right? When we're talking about projects for certain people within the context of certain communities or cultures, having that cultural capital is so important. Okay. When we think about, I think about Carol's daughter. Carol's daughter was a big brand. Not it still is, but since Carol's daughter kind of hit the market, so many other brands have come along regarding natural hair care for women of color, and so they brought really cultural capital to the table because they were a part of the community that they're looking to serve. Now, not that Suave and what are the other kind of more, mainstream brands? Suave, um, I'm trying to think of the time when things are just kinda coming out. Um, I'll just stick with them. Suave being kinda more mainstream, they did later on, create a product for women of color, really trying to tap into the natural hair market. But they really didn't have the cultural capital that they needed to really boost the brand and sell that product in a way. Not to say they didn't make a good product, but they didn't come with the cultural capital. And so you can't overlook that. Then we have intellectual capital, right? Education, training, skill set. That's so important regarding your project because you might find out that you don't have the necessary intellectual capital that you need, and you need to go get more training. You need to go get more education about something, right? And it's important, and I'm truly an advocate of lifelong learning as I continue to learn. I have a PhD. So what? Right? Trust me, you don't want me advising and consulting you with just the stuff that I learned in my PhD program when I finished what now 6 years ago, well, almost 6 years ago. You don't want that. You want me to stay educated. You want me to keep learning. And so intellectual capital is what helping me run my business, right? And so I need to make sure that I keep a good flow, if you will, of intellectual capital. Then we have creative capital, the ability to create and have new ideas. And I want to with you right now. Sorry if you heard my phone ringing, but I was just sharing this with someone yesterday, and I want to encourage you all. Don't be discouraged in your creativity because even if I would say over the last couple of weeks and putting content together and then I would say like, "Oh, let me Google this and see if anyone's thinking about this." And it's like, "What? You're thinking about this too?" Or I'll come out with this name and I'll Google it. Oh my gosh, someone's been using it for so long. And I'm thinking, all these things I thought I was the only one thinking. We're not that original. We're not. And, we always was, "Oh, you're so original." Well, are we though? Not really. We're really not that original. But what the Holy Spirit said to me is, even though it's the same idea, it's not you. And that blessed me. And that's what I want to encourage you in today. Just because, someone else is doing something, that doesn't mean you can't do the same thing because what's unique about that thing, it may not be original, but what makes it unique is you. The way you can talk about it, the personality and energy that you bring to it, and then adding other capital to that original thing. But now you're making it unique because you're bringing all the uniqueness of you to it, your experiences, your knowledge, the way you see it, your perspective. Don't be discouraged because you don't think you have an original idea. You probably don't. Let's be honest. You probably don't. But don't let that stop your creativity and bringing what you bring so uniquely to it. Okay? So do it anyway. It's not original. Do it anyway. Because the way you do it will be unique, right? Because it's you who's doing it. Um, you have spiritual capital. And I think about that from two different perspectives, not just in one perspective, community, right? The community, the seeing things bigger than yourself and knowing that you're a part of something bigger and truly knowing that and believing that and acting on that is spiritual capital. But then we have the faith component, right? Where it's like, I have spiritual capital because I know I'm a child of God. I know who I am. I know the power and authority I walk in. I know that I am loved and that I am chosen and that I have divine purpose. That is spiritual capital to pray and go to God and to seek things and to declare things and to know and have faith that things are going to work out, to be able to manifest things with my words. Y'all, trust me, you want to work with me because I know my power, I know my authority, I know whose I am. And because of that, I have spiritual capital, y'all, and you do too. For those who believe. And so don't negate or feel like that's not a big deal because spiritual capital is a big deal. When you look at people who don't have that sense of connection, who feel like everything revolves around them, right? Who are very self-centered or narcissistic regarding how they do things and how they manage things, they're really bankrupt because it's going to start to influence every other capital resource that they have and how they think about it and how they see it, their human resources, all of it. So spiritual capital is great. Social capital. What relationships do you have? Who do you know? Right? You know this thing is not what you know, it's who you know, right? Well, it's both. It is important who you know too, right? And so thinking about your relationships and making connections and the importance of networking or having followership, even regarding social media and those types of things all adds to social capital. And so you cannot overlook the importance of having the right relationships. Um, Having the right relationship with someone can really change the projection of your project. Experiential. What? Yes, your experiences is capital, y'all. As a speaker, You're not interested really in my knowledge. You're interested in my experiences, my personal story. That's my capital, right? The things that I've gone through, the things that I've seen and done. You're interested in that. That is my experiential capital. And it is yours as well. Your unique story, your unique experiences, okay? The things that you've seen, what you've come to know and understand. It's capital, y'all. That's a resource that you have. And then artistic. Gosh, God gives us gifts, whether ability to see something in a different way, that's artistic, right? To put words together in a certain way, writing copy, writing, creative writing, singing, dancing, painting, drawing, graphics, all those filmmaking, just all those beautiful things that go with being artistic. Um, and some people are creative, but they're not so much maybe artistic or haven't developed that skill quite yet, and that's okay. Some people have both, right? But both do work together. You might have the idea, but now you just need to go find the person who has the artistic capital, right? That you are still growing it. All right. And then natural resources. Depending on your project, this could be a really big deal for you. And I'm sure you know many of what they are, but I just put them here. Air, trees, sunlight, metals, coal, stone and sand, water, and natural gas, right? And there are so many others that might also fit in different categories or in these categories. But certainly if you're dealing with construction, and we say sunlight, but energy, right? And things like that, which can be created by many of these on here as well. So if that word energy triggers something for you, good. Power, okay. Maybe those are trigger words for you that will make you think about things in a certain way. But natural resources are important. Um, having the necessary, equipment as well and software and all of that that goes with it. We can call those, soft resources. Gosh, now that I'm thinking about that, I should have talked about that too. You know what? I am going to put together information on soft resources or technological resources because that is so important. And so, to make sure that you have the right infrastructure for, technology and, software and the proper communications and all of that to do your project as well. So you can expect that today. But then also, how to acquire resources for your project. Here are 6 steps. Okay. Identify the resources your project requires. It's pretty straightforward and simple, right? We need to do that. Number 2, inventory which resources you already have. You know, what do you already have? How much do you have of it? Is it enough? Do you need more? Okay. And then make sure that each resource is aligned with purpose, right? That you've kind of gone through and answered those questions to say, okay, what is the purpose of this? Number 3, make a list of resources you need in order of functional priority. That's important, right? If everything happens in steps, then you need to make sure whatever resources you need in step 1, you don't wait till later. You get those first. But I will say with the supply chain disruption, manufacturing disruptions, all of that, and shipping disruptions, please also make your list in priority of availability. That's so important. I've been running into a lot of those issues as well. And so I have to tell you and remind you to please also consider availability. If you know that something is available now but won't be available later, maybe when you need it, then go ahead and, procure that, right? And number 5, source other resources. Okay. And I'm sorry, number 4. I skipped number 4. Identify which resources you can acquire for free. Think back to volunteers, interns, or it could be through a mutual relationship. Hey, how about I provide this service or give you these products in exchange for products and services? Yeah, let's barter, y'all. Let's get back to that, right? What's wrong with that? Write up your agreement, get it notarized, okay? And hey, so that way everyone is on the same page as to exactly the value in exchange for for products and services. And do that. Let's do it. Not everything has to be about money, but it's about quality products for hey, expert services, right? Make that happen. And then five, source other resources. So what you can't get for free, then you need to make sure you have the budget for it. And then number six, be a good steward. Now, you would see all kind of lists saying manage them well. That's cool. But you know what? The key word really here is to be a good steward. And a part of being a good steward is to be shrewd about how you see your resources, how you take care of them, how you manage them. It's so important that not only you have that mindset, but everyone who touches your project has that mindset. Because if you see it one way, but the people who are working with you see it another way, resources will be mishandled, they'll be lost, they won't be taken care of. So important that you all have a mindset of stewardship regarding everything that God has blessed you with. Okay. All right. So I owe you more information on those kind of soft resources or hard resources, depending on, if you're thinking a bit more from, more so from a standpoint of equipment. So I will definitely put that together for you. Let me know what your thoughts are, okay, about this. Did it kind of give you some new things to think about, some new ideas? Were there some things you hadn't thought about? Was it a good reminder? Let me know. Okay. Join me tomorrow. Like I said, day 5, we talk about communication. Oh, and it's so, so, so important. And we'll probably recap on some of this today, especially regarding communication for human resources. Okay. And also the importance that communication plays in, technology and other resources that we will have. Y'all follow me, okay, for more information, more lives. There's a lot of cool information that I'll be sharing and have shared. You can also check out my social media to find some reactions that I've done to headline news regarding, organizational decisions by CEOs and such. So check that out too. I think you'll find it interesting. Will you all have a blessed day. Happy Sunday. Rest today. Have peace today. Don't you worry about a thing. Pray about your resources. And I know and trust that God is going to provide for you. Like I said, whether it's personally, for your family, your organization, okay, president, pray. Entrepreneur, pray. God is going to fulfill your need. For your family, God is going to fulfill your need. Okay. So follow me. God bless you all. And remember, in everything you do and with everything you have, love God and love people.